There's something deeply satisfying about stepping outside in May and seeing your garden come alive. Not with stress or sore muscles, but with color, peace, and purpose. For many seniors, gardening is more than a hobby. It's a way to stay active, grounded, and connected to nature without needing heavy tools or long hours. It's about creating beauty that comes back year after year, with minimal effort and maximum joy. In this episode, we're exploring 4 garden projects that are not only easy on the body, but also rich in visual appeal and long-term beauty. These designs use perennials, plants that bloom year after year. So once they're in, you can sit back, relax, and let nature do its thing. We'll walk you through the layout, materials, plant choices, and why each design works so well for seniors looking to garden comfortably. No digging up roots every fall. No daily watering marathons. Just simple, sustainable setups that grow better with time. Let's dive into these inspiring and accessible garden ideas designed for comfort, creativity, and lasting beauty. 1 raised bed garden with recycled materials. This project brings comfort right into the heart of your garden. The raised bed was built using old fence planks, giving new life to materials that might otherwise be discarded. Lined with landscape fabric, it offers excellent drainage while keeping weeds out. Inside, we planted a mix of coneflowers, yarrow, and sedum, 3 hardy perennials that thrive in full sun and require very little attention once established. They're drought-tolerant, deer-resistant, and best of all, they return bigger and brighter every spring. What makes this idea especially great for seniors is the height of the bed. It eliminates the need to bend or kneel, making planting, pruning, and harvesting much easier on the joints. And because it's elevated, pests and critters find it harder to reach your plants. The natural wood tones blend beautifully with the soft pinks and golds of the blooms, creating a space that feels both inviting and intentional. You can place one near your patio, beside a walkway, or even as a centerpiece in your yard. If you're new to gardening or simply looking for something that doesn't demand too much time or energy, this raised bed garden is a perfect starting point. 2 container gardens that bloom year after year next. Let's talk about small spaces, balconies, patios, even windowsills. These are often overlooked when it comes to gardening, but they hold incredible potential. In this setup, we've used large, lightweight containers filled with a mix of perennials that offer continuous color throughout the growing season. Geraniums provide bold bursts of red and pink, dahlias add elegant form and height, and lamb's ear brings in a soft, velvety texture that contrasts beautifully with the other plants. One of the biggest advantages of container gardening is mobility. If the weather turns too hot or too cold, you can easily move your pots to a shadier or sunnier spot. And if winter is coming, some of these containers can even be brought indoors to extend the life of your plants. To make things even easier, consider adding self-watering inserts or drip irrigation kits. These small additions drastically reduce the amount of time spent on maintenance, letting you focus on the joy of watching your garden grow. Whether you live in an apartment, condo, or retirement community, container gardening gives you the freedom to bring nature close, even without access to soil. 3. Ground-level garden with natural stone edging. Now let's take a step closer to the earth with a design that flows naturally with the landscape. This ground-level garden uses flat stones laid along the edge to create a soft, defined border that blends beautifully with the surrounding greenery. Inside, we've chosen shade-loving perennials like hostas and astilbes that thrive in partial sunlight. Their lush foliage and delicate blooms bring depth and movement to the space. Lily of the valley grows gently beneath them, spreading slowly and filling the air with its sweet fragrance. Unlike traditional lawns that require constant mowing and care, this garden asks for very little. A bit of mulch each spring helps retain moisture and suppress weeds. Occasional trimming keeps everything tidy, but beyond that, it practically takes care of itself. The stones serve a dual purpose. They prevent erosion while also offering a neat finish that enhances the overall look of the garden. Plus, they make walking alongside the bed easier and safer, reducing the risk of tripping on uneven edges. This type of garden is ideal for those who prefer a slower pace, where beauty evolves naturally over time, and the act of tending to your plants becomes a moment of calm rather than a chore. 4. Repurposed Wheelbarrow Planter. For this idea, let's give new life to something old. This vintage wheelbarrow has been cleaned, painted, and lined with plastic to create a charming mobile planter. We filled it with a mix of cascading plants like ivy, petunias, and sweet potato vine. Because it's on wheels, it can be rolled into the sun when needed and shaded during hot days. This whimsical piece adds personality and charm to any porch or pathway. Plus, it makes a great gift or community center project. Why this works: upcycling reduces cost, portable for optimal sunlight. Conversation starter: it's proof that gardening doesn't always have to mean rows of beds or structured borders. Sometimes it's about taking what you already have and transforming it into something joyful and useful. 5. Vertical garden wall with reclaimed pallets. This next design brings a fresh twist to small space gardening by taking it off the ground and straight up the wall. The structure was built using reclaimed wooden pallets, cleaned, sanded, and lined with landscape fabric to hold soil securely in place. Each pocket of the pallet was carefully filled with nutrient-rich potting mix and planted with a variety of low-maintenance perennials and herbs. We chose creeping thyme for its delicate fragrance and trailing habit, paired with sedum for its drought tolerance and bursts of seasonal color. A few sprigs of lavender were tucked in for height and visual interest, their silvery foliage and purple spikes standing out beautifully against the natural wood. The entire unit was mounted on a sturdy fence or wall, making it completely accessible without the need to bend or kneel. It's perfect for seniors who may have limited mobility but still want to enjoy the satisfaction of growing something beautiful, and sometimes even edible. What makes this vertical garden especially practical is how little space it takes. You can install it along a narrow side yard, beside a doorway, or even on a balcony railing. And because it's elevated, it catches more sunlight than traditional beds, helping plants grow strong and healthy with minimal effort. Maintenance is simple too. Just water from the top, let gravity do the rest, and you've got yourself a thriving green wall that adds texture, life, and a touch of modern charm to any outdoor area. It's proof that gardening doesn't always mean rows of beds or sprawling lawns. Sometimes it's about thinking vertically and transforming overlooked spaces into living art. 6. Gravel pathway with perennial borders. Now let's step into a garden path that feels both elegant and easygoing. A gravel walkway framed by soft, flowing perennials that sway gently in the breeze. The path itself is made of compacted crushed stone, offering a stable, slip-resistant surface that requires very little maintenance. Unlike concrete or pavers, gravel allows for better water drainage and doesn't crack over time. It also has a natural rustic charm that complements nearly any garden style. Along the edges, we planted a mix of low-growing perennials like catmint, lamb's ear, and dianthus. These plants not only add color and texture, but also help define the pathway naturally. Their mounded shapes soften the hard lines of the gravel while keeping foot traffic where it belongs. Taller varieties like Russian sage and black-eyed Susans were placed further back to create depth and dimension. These plants sway in the wind, adding movement and life to the space. They also attract pollinators, bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds that bring energy and joy to your daily garden strolls. One of the best things about this setup is how easy it is to maintain. Once established, these perennials require minimal watering and pruning. A layer of mulch keeps weeds down and moisture in, and an occasional rake keeps the gravel looking fresh. It's a simple yet stunning way to connect different areas of your garden while creating a space that invites slow walks, deep breaths, and quiet reflection. 7. Cozy garden nook with built-in seating and flower beds. Now imagine a quiet corner of your garden designed just for you, a peaceful nook where you can sit, read, sip tea, and watch the seasons unfold around you. This idea features a semi-circular bench built from weather-resistant cedar, nestled between two gently curved flower beds. The seating is wide enough for comfort, but low enough to make getting up and down easier. Cushions can be added for extra support and coziness. Surrounding the bench, we planted a mix of fragrant and flowering perennials. Lavender lines the front edge, releasing its calming scent every time you brush past. Behind it, clusters of Shasta daisies and coreopsis bloom in bright whites and yellows, bringing lightness and cheer to the space. In the back, taller ornamental grasses sway like gentle sentinels, adding movement and privacy. They rustle softly in the wind, creating a soothing soundtrack to your moments of relaxation. A small trellis overhead offers a place for climbing vines like clematis or sweet peas to grow, giving you shade in summer and bursts of color throughout the season. This garden nook is more than just a pretty spot. It's a dedicated space for peace, connection, and enjoyment of nature's rhythms. Whether you're alone with a book or sharing stories with friends, it's a place that feels like home. 8-herb spiral for flavor and function? Let's shift gears slightly and explore a unique garden feature that's as useful as it is beautiful. The herb spiral, built using stacked stones or bricks arranged in a coiled pattern, this design creates multiple microclimates within a small footprint. The top of the spiral stays dry and sunny, perfect for rosemary and thyme. The middle gets moderate sun and moisture, ideal for oregano and sage, and the base remains cooler and moister, great for mint and parsley. The spiral shape not only saves space, but also makes harvesting incredibly convenient. Everything is within arm's reach, eliminating the need to stoop or stretch. The raised levels also protect the plants from pests and foot traffic. Surrounded by a small ring of gravel or stepping stones, the herb spiral becomes a functional centerpiece in any garden. You can place it near the kitchen door for easy access, or tuck it into a sunny corner of the yard. And beyond utility, it adds visual interest. The layered effect of different textures and greens gives it a sculptural quality that stands out without being overwhelming. Whether you love to cook or simply enjoy the scent of fresh herbs, this is a project that brings flavor, fragrance, and beauty together in one compact design. 9. A garden bench surrounded by fragrant perennials. This next space feels like a gentle invitation to slow down and breathe. Nestled in the heart of a modest backyard, a simple wooden bench sits surrounded by a lush mix of fragrant perennials, each one chosen not just for its beauty, but for the way it fills the air with scent and color. The bench itself is made from weather-treated cedar, low enough for easy access yet sturdy enough to last through seasons. It's positioned in a spot that catches morning sun and afternoon shade, perfect for reading, sipping tea, or simply watching the garden come alive with bees and butterflies. Around it, we planted lavender along the front edge, where its silvery foliage and purple spikes release a calming aroma every time you brush past. Behind that, clusters of Shasta daisies bloom in bright white, their cheerful faces turning toward the sun. To the side, a few tall stalks of foxglove rise gracefully, adding height and a touch of whimsy. What makes this setup so special is how it brings nature close without demanding much in return. The plants are all low maintenance, drought-tolerant, and mostly self-sufficient once established. A thin layer of mulch keeps weeds at bay and moisture locked in, making tending to this space both simple and satisfying. It's more than just a bench in a garden. It's a peaceful corner of the world designed for comfort, connection, and quiet moments of joy. 10 tiered flower beds. Using retaining wall blocks. Now let's look at a design that adds dimension to flat spaces. A tiered flower bed built using lightweight retaining wall blocks. This idea works especially well for seniors who want to add visual interest without heavy digging or lifting. The structure was created using interlocking concrete blocks stacked in a staggered pattern to form 2 gentle tiers. Each level was filled with nutrient-rich soil and planted with a carefully selected mix of perennials that thrive in full sun. On the top level, creeping phlox and sedum spill over the edges like living drapes, softening the hard lines of the stone. Below them, bold coneflowers and goldenrod stand tall, their vibrant colors catching the eye from across the yard. At the base, a border of lamb's ear adds a soft, velvety texture that contrasts beautifully with the rougher stone surface. Because the beds are raised, they eliminate the need to bend or kneel too far, making planting and light maintenance easier on the body. The blocks also provide excellent drainage and stability, ensuring the garden stays intact even after heavy rain. This design isn't just functional, it's beautiful. The layers create depth and movement, guiding the eye upward and outward, making even a small space feel bigger. And because everything is arranged in levels, each plant gets its moment in the sun without being overshadowed. It's proof that gardening doesn't always mean starting from scratch. You can transform what you already have into something elevated, both literally and visually. 11. A gravel garden with drought-tolerant plants. Let's shift gears slightly and explore a garden that thrives with minimal water. A gravel garden filled with resilient, drought-tolerant perennials that bring life and color to dry, sunny spots. This design starts with a base of compacted gravel, which offers excellent drainage while reducing the need for mowing or weeding. Around the edges, we laid out a soft border of blue fescue grass, whose fine silvery blue blades sway gently in the breeze, adding movement and texture. Inside the space, we planted a mix of Mediterranean-inspired perennials, lavender, Santolina, and yarrow, all known for their ability to survive with little water and plenty of sun. These plants were spaced generously, allowing room to grow and breathe while still creating a full, cohesive look. A few stepping stones were added for easy access, placed strategically so you can move through the garden without disturbing the gravel surface. They're flat and stable, making them safe and comfortable to walk on. One of the biggest advantages of this garden is how little it asks of you. Once the plants are in, they require only occasional watering and trimming. No soggy soil, no muddy shoes, just clean lines, clear textures, and a garden that flourishes with ease. It's an ideal solution for those who live in drier climates or simply want a garden that looks good without constant care. 12. A small pond garden with perennial borders. Now imagine a garden where sound plays just as important a role as sight. A small pond surrounded by flowering perennials, where the gentle trickle of water blends with the rustling leaves and buzzing bees. This feature starts with a preformed pond liner, sunk into the ground and lined with smooth river rocks to create a natural look. A small recirculating pump creates a subtle stream effect, letting water bubble softly over a stack of stones. Around the edges, we planted a mix of moisture-loving perennials, hostas, iris, and daylilies, that thrive in damp conditions. Their rich green foliage and colorful blooms frame the pond beautifully, drawing the eye inward and giving the space a sense of enclosure. A few ornamental grasses were added for movement, their feathery tops catching the wind and swaying gently above the other plants. A narrow path made of flat stepping stones leads up to the pond, keeping feet dry and offering a place to pause and enjoy the view. What makes this setup so special is the sensory experience it provides. The sound of moving water soothes the mind. The scent of blooming flowers lifts the spirit, and the sight of dragonflies darting overhead adds a touch of magic. It's a garden that doesn't just look good, it feels good. A peaceful living space that invites you to sit, listen, and be present in the moment. 13. A sunny rock garden with hardy perennials. Now let's explore a garden that thrives in full sun. A compact rock garden filled with tough, drought-tolerant perennials that bring life and texture to dry, warm spots. This design starts with a natural arrangement of small to medium-sized stones scattered across well-draining soil. The rocks aren't placed in any rigid pattern, but rather nestled together like they might appear in a mountain meadow or along a sun-drenched hillside. Among them, we planted a mix of low-growing, sun-loving plants, creeping thyme, sedum, and stonecrop, all chosen for their resilience and subtle beauty. These plants hug the ground, filling in between the stones with soft mounds of green and bursts of seasonal color. A few taller accents were added for depth and interest. Compact yarrow and dwarf coneflowers stand just high enough to catch the breeze without overwhelming the space. Their blooms add a cheerful pop of pink and yellow, drawing in bees and butterflies throughout the day. What makes this setup so special is how little it asks of you. No rich soil, no constant watering, just sunlight, good drainage, and a bit of patience. Once established, these plants practically take care of themselves, making this garden ideal for seniors who want something beautiful without demanding too much time or energy. It's a quiet, unassuming space, but one that brings joy through simplicity, texture, and the gentle rhythm of nature finding its place among the rocks. 14. A cozy corner with hanging planters and flowering shrubs. Now imagine a tucked-away corner of your yard transformed into a blooming sanctuary. A cozy nook where flowering shrubs meet hanging baskets, creating layers of color and fragrance from the ground up. The foundation of this space is a pair of compact evergreen shrubs, neatly trimmed to frame the area without blocking light or movement. They provide structure and year-round greenery, serving as a backdrop for the more seasonal elements. In front of them, clusters of perennial flowers bloom in waves. Coreopsis, daisies, and salvia offer a mix of heights, textures, and colors that shift subtly with the seasons. These plants are chosen not only for their visual appeal, but also for their ease of care and ability to thrive with minimal attention. Above, two sturdy hooks hold gently swaying hanging baskets filled with trailing petunias and ivy. Their cascading vines spill over the edges, softening the space and bringing movement to an otherwise still corner. The entire setup is arranged around a small seating area, just enough room for a chair or bench where you can sit back and enjoy the view. It's designed to feel enclosed but open, peaceful, but lively. This idea proves that even the most overlooked corners of your yard can become something special with just a few thoughtful additions. It's about layering plantings vertically, using height and flow to create a space that feels full and inviting. Even if it doesn't take up much ground, it's a reminder that gardening isn't always about big beds or sprawling lawns. Sometimes it's about finding beauty in the small spaces and letting nature do the rest. 15. A simple gravel garden with bordering lavender. Let's move into another low-effort, high-impact idea. A gravel garden bordered by rows of lavender that fill the air with their soothing scent every time the wind moves through. The base of this garden is a smooth layer of crushed gravel, spread evenly over landscape fabric to suppress weeds while allowing water to drain freely. This surface is easy to maintain. No mowing, no muddy patches, just clean lines and a tidy appearance all season long. Along both sides, we planted English lavender in neat, spaced rows. These fragrant plants grow upright and bushy, forming a living border that adds both visual and sensory appeal. Their silvery green foliage contrasts beautifully with the pale gray tones of the gravel, while their purple blooms bring a touch of soft color to the scene. Between the rows, we added a few low-maintenance perennials, ornamental grasses for movement, creeping veronica for occasional blue blooms, and a few hardy ground covers to prevent bare spots. Because lavender prefers well-drained soil and full sun, this garden requires very little watering once established. A quick pruning in early spring keeps the plants healthy and encourages new growth. The result is a garden that looks elegant, smells amazing, and asks for almost nothing in return. It's perfect for those who love simplicity, appreciate fragrance, and want a space that looks intentional without needing constant tending. Gardening isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about taking small steps, enjoying the process, and watching your space and yourself grow with time. If these projects inspired you, please take a moment to share this video with someone who might love it too. Whether it's a neighbor, a friend, or a loved one looking for a new hobby, there's no better time than now to start growing something beautiful. And if you enjoyed this journey through thoughtful, senior-friendly garden designs, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Golden Seniors Gardening. New episodes drop every week, packed with more ideas, tips, and inspiration for making the most of your outdoor space, no matter your age or experience level. Thank you for being here. We'll see you in the next episode, where we'll continue exploring ways to make gardening joyful, accessible, and deeply fulfilling. Until then, happy planting.